protect the culture at all cost. That really is the primary responsibility of the leader. And I know it may not feel like it, especially when you have operational challenges and budget shortfalls and all types of other deadlines and responsibilities that you're working for. I mean, you're really trying to squeeze a dollar out of a dime and make everything work. Sometimes culture just feels like the last thing on your mind. But I want to tell you that if you protect the culture at all costs, that really serves as a lead domino, which has the ability to make everything else that you're working on and working towards that much more easy. Peter Drucker once said, "Culture eats strategy for breakfast." And I'm sure you've heard that quote before. And essentially what he's saying is that it's not as important what you're doing as much as it is how you're doing it. How do we show up? How do we interact? What types of behaviors do we model and demonstrate? And how do we do the work that we've been called to do? That culture piece really is the most important piece. Because when you have a high-performing culture, people just enjoy coming to work. They give their best. They go above and beyond. They demonstrate what we call organizational citizenship behaviors, which means they're not just compliant, but they are actually committed to the cause that you're working towards. So I want to encourage you as a leader to protect the culture at all costs. And I know sometimes you might realize I have a really good high performer who does his job or her job really well, but they tend to be a little rough around the edges and they're not really a good culture fit. In those scenarios, I know it's tough. You want this person on your team because they get the job done, but they kind of frustrate everyone else in how they get the job done. Protect the culture at all costs. I once heard a leader say that I would rather have a B player who has a phenomenal culture than have someone who is an A player, but they don't really represent the values of the organization. Because while that person might be pulling their weight and some, because of how they're showing up and what they're doing and the effect that they're having on the rest of the team won't be performing at their highest level. And so, yeah, you might have one stallion who's running really fast, but because of how they're going about their work, they're slowing everyone else down, as opposed to having a stallion who might not be as fast, but because of how they're going about their work, they cause everyone else to rise and to perform at a higher level. And so I want to encourage you, protect the culture at all costs. Now, this is something that I know leaders will tend to forget, so I want you to write it down, put it on a wall, put it on a sticky note, tape it on your computer, so that when you step into meetings and you're engaging with your team and you're having those shareholder meetings, that you keep on the forefront of your mind, yes, we want to move the bottom line, and yes, we want to be operationally efficient, and yes, we want to achieve all of our goals, but the way that we do that is by protecting the culture at all costs.